Okay, now we're going to install the selector forks into the gearbox assembly. First I want to show you on your housing here for the selector forks. You'll see there's 3 holes here. Basically what those are for, you see I'm putting oil in where the springs are going to go. And the oil will start seeping out of there. So that's just drain holes for the oil when they get in here where the detent ball and the spring are located. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and lubricate everything in here. Since I can't get my little pinky in there, I'm just going to use this little Q-tip. Make sure it's nice and oiled up. And we'll put a little bit of oil inside the gearbox too. Oil that up. Alright, that's good. Now we're going to install the selector forks in this order, the reverse order of what we dismantled them. So, and that order is, let me get the camera set to where I think we should be good. Alright. We're going to start with first and second gear. Install that. Let me just get the camera set up here, guys. Bear with me. Alright, first and second gear. Then we're going to go with third and fourth. And then reverse first gear, the selector forks. We're going to install them in that fashion. To aid in installation by pushing down the detent balls, I'll show you. I'll just use this as just an Allen that I'll use to push down when I put the spring and ball bearing in there. Just push it down while I slide the fork in, the selector rod. If you get mixed up on the orientation of how the selector rods go together, just do them right now. So you can see that they go similar to this fashion here. And when you put them all together, the ends of them come out to be like that. So that gives you an idea of which selector fork goes in here. So for first and second, there we go. Now that's working. There, now you can see how they're going to go together in there. So if you can imagine, they're in there in this fashion, in this housing here. First and second is going to be the top one, and then your third and fourth selector rod is going to be this one, and in reverse will be this one. If you that should aid you in lining them up. So the first one we're going to do is first and second. So what we do is take our spring, slide her in. Oh, she goes, oops, put it in the wrong one, didn't I? Yes, I did. So let me get that out. I like to be exact. I put that in the wrong one, so let me get it out real quick. Bear with me. Sorry about that. See, everybody makes mistakes. So, first and second is this guy right here. Just slide that in there. Take our ball with my finger on it. I'm going to slide it, hold it. So that the ball gets on the spring. There she is. Now she's on that spring. Okay. Now we're going to take our selector fork off. Take the nut all the way off. Slide the first and second selector fork off. I'm going to put some oil on this guy. Help with the installation. Alright. Okay, a little bit tricky here. Let me see if we're on the right. Okay, cool. A little bit tricky. We're going to slide this fork in, the selector rod, while pushing down the detent ball. And hopefully we won't make it to where it's going to we miss and the ball bearing goes shooting off to God knows where. So keep my finger on it to get it to where I can push it down. Okay, now it's down in the housing there, the ball. Now I'm just going to slide the fork in, and I'm pushing against this, and I'm going to lift this guy out. And I didn't do it right because the thing started sliding on me. Extra set of hands on this one would be ideal. Let me put the ball bearing back on there. Of course, this screwdriver is magnetic. So is the Allen. Alright, try it again. Try while I hold my elbow on it. Okay, that's down in there. Losing the battle here. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to have to shut it off. I'm going to have to use the wall as my third hand, so bear with me. Okay, let's try this. I'm going to use the wall to help me out now. Now she can't slide anywhere. Okay, first and second selector rod. Put my finger here, push this down. Now the ball bearing is down in the housing there. Take my rod, slide it in. Pull out the Allen. There she goes. There. That's it. Now we've got the spring and the ball bearing down in there. Let me turn this over so you can see. Here are the detents where the ball bearing clicks when you're shifting gears. Neutral, or where everything's in neutral, is the middle. Sliding up, let's see, would be for second gear. Sliding back would be for first gear. So turn it around, and here's your little detent here for the screw. Once you put your assembly on there and it screws through there, and the screw will lock down on the rod here, so it won't move. Alright, so now we're just going to slide this all the way through. All the way through. There, it clicked on the first one. I'll put it on the second one. Oops. Try it again. There's one. Turn it. There's two. Alright, so that's neutral. And guess what I forgot to do? Let me slide it back out. So just twist it a little bit and slide that rod back out. Let's see if we're still on camera. We are. Forgot to put our selector fork in there. So let me spin her around, tilt her up a little bit. Get a wooden block to help with that. Tilt it up so we can see inside. Okay, we're still good. Alright, so let me slide the rod back a little bit. And we'll put our selector fork. First and second goes into the gearbox in this fashion here, not down like this. So again, let's put some oil in there to help aid in the installation. Put some oil back on there. A little bit up. Slide it back a little bit. There we go. Let's slide it back quite a bit. There we go. And we're going to put our selector fork onto the first gear. It actually rides in the first gear. Right there, as you can see. Spin it with my finger. So I'm going to put the selector fork on there. Slide the shaft through. Alright. Now I'm going to keep an eye on this the screw there when it comes through, and it should be about, there's first, should be when we go into neutral. So let me spin a little bit. Oops, went too far. Bring it back a little bit. There we go, there's neutral. And now I can see through the selector fork the detent on the rod there. So now we're just going to back off the bolt. Put on the bolt here. Spin this on. Tighten it for right now. And you see I'm in the detent now. Twisting the selector fork lever and it's moving the selector rod, it's moving the selector fork. So I know I'm in the little detent on the rod there. So now we'll just tighten that up. And I wasn't prepared for that. Let's see if we got the socket for that here. Of course, no, I don't. So let me pause the camera and let me go get the correct tools. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. We got the tools. Now remember, this is brass, so we're not going to really torque down on this bolt here. So we're just going to tighten it up. Yay, tight. There we go. Now we're going to bring our locking nut down. Tighten that bad boy up on there. This will lock everything together right here. Tighten that up. There we go. So that's it. That's our first and second selector rod and this fork all assembled. Now we'll go on to third and fourth. Okay, the next one to go on is the third and fourth selector rod. And we'll just disassemble this one real quick. Take the bolt off. This one has a spacer piece. If you've got the MGB or the earlier MGAs had just a solid brass. Fork goes in this fashion here with this shaft pointing back towards the that end. So we'll just disassemble that. Like that. Get our spring and ball bearing. Slip the spring in the housing there. Put my finger on it. Slip the ball bearing in there. I'm going to rotate this around so I can use the wall to help me out. Rotate it around. The ball bearings on the in the housing there. Take some oil, put it on our shaft, lube her up. Go ahead and lube up the selector fork. So I'll forget. Knowing me, I'll go ahead and put some oil on the distance piece. Alright. Okay, here we go. I'm going to push down the ball bearing with our Allen. Okay, ball bearing's down in the housing. Take our rod, push it through. There we go. Okay, the rod's through. Let's spin her around real quick so that you guys can see. Okay. Alright. Now we're going to slide on our distance piece into the rod. Slide it through. Okay, the selector fork again goes in this fashion here with this piece pointing back. And the selector fork will go onto this hub assembly here for a third and fourth. So let's get that selector fork in there. And the hub. Work with me. Go. Okay. Now we'll just slide the rod through. Okay. And you can see here on the back side what we got to work with. Now this one was tough, so let's just slide it through. That was going pretty good. Now I'm going to try to keep an eye on, try to get it on neutral, which is going to be probably hard. There's the detent on the rod that I need to line up with this guy. Let's see if I can work it in there. It's gonna be tough. Let me get this. Let me get first out of the way. Okay. Slide it forward. Let's just muscle it on in there.